All right, look. The way you drive. We all know by now, okay? You got two different types of sides to you, okay? You got one side that interacts, what you can see, what you start acting like when you start interacting with people. And then you got the side where you can sit back and think to yourself and have a visual mind frame, a visual mind, you know what I'm saying? To sit there and conjure up your own way of communicating. You know what I'm saying? Like we all got that sense of communicating in our type of way, right? So look, so this is what I mean by this, right? Some people are the type of people, before they speak, when they're taking everything in. Hey, yo, my face is looking all fat and shit. Hold up a bit. My face looking fat as hell. I need to get off this goddamn eating at restaurants and shit. But yeah, look. So everybody got a certain way they think. So some people think when they interpret what's going on first, they'll take it in to make sure everything in detail they took it in right, so they know the ins and outs of whatever somebody is talking about, right? You almost look at it like the word interpretation. So, all right, hold on, let me take this shit off. Interpretation. So this is how everybody interprets things, thinks about things, shapes their internal words, and shapes their internal way of thinking, personifying things, and then pushing it out. So like I said, look, so if you're the type of person to sit back and be methodical, be very detailed, very picky about maybe what somebody might be saying or about what you might say after, because you're a worried person and how you might seem, then this right here, right? Because the way you think always somehow, some way comes into a way that you can see it like, damn, I knew I was right. It's almost like you prove yourself right in a way, right? But this is just what and how you think, right? So when you thinking about going or the way you think, right? You can tie the way you think to the way you drive, okay? Just like you can tie the way somebody acts to the way they might have been raised, but being raised just means how you interpreted your environment growing up when you didn't have a direction, right? So when you know that pretty much everything you think, every way, you can tie everything that's physical to how you may have developed, interpreted, conjured up, accumulated all of this shit, right? So with that being said, now that we know, but however you think pretty much comes into a way that it's how you are subconsciously without you thinking. So if somebody sat there and told somebody, why do you talk or think like this so fast? They wouldn't, either that person would have accepted it and like come up with an excuse, or that person would be like, I don't do that, because that person ain't gonna accept it because you just told them that. And nobody don't subconsciously be conscious of their subconscious, so they don't notice what they're actually doing. So this is what I'm getting at. The way you drive, because this is an example of how we can take what we accumulate from intuition, from the feeling, from the nature of things, and how we can see it and how you do it in a physical sense or in a lighter sense outside of you. So like I said, the way a person thinks, that was just the disclaimer. So the way a person thinks, the way a person shapes their mental and how they drive their mental, how they convert it and let their mental shoot off into a direction where they can go down a line of events and start, seeing their different little individual outlook of wherever they're going, right? Wherever they're going with their mind frame, mindset. So this is gonna manifest, like I said, into driving. So if someone drives in a very crazy, chaotic way, this some way, somehow means they drive, or this come from the way they think. Way they think. So, and also where are they thinking at? Or like where they putting their actual attention at? Because the way you think and what you're directing your attention on is like kind of two different things. Because you can think very, very fast, but you really directing your attention on some slow shit that people don't see. Let me repeat. You can be doing that real fast, but the way you're moving your mind is very chaotic, but you could be actually trying to pay attention to some shit that's actually stable. So it's kind of different, but just know somebody that's chaotic, one way or another, they are in the nature, in their mind frame, what be on their mind, and how they, not even what be on their mind, how they interpret and do the things that's on their mind and go catch ideas is in a way that's very quick, fast paced. They communicate fast paced usually. Even if, like I said, they're paying attention to something that's slow, they might talk about something that might be slow moving, but they talk in a very fast way though. So this person willed what they do physically, since it started from the internal nature level of what you just already know subconsciously, and it manifested to how you move. Then this is how you get a person that drives chaotic. You know what I'm saying? Do another example, but it all started from their nature of how, because we all know nature outside of us. Like I say, whatever you see that you doing or that we're doing came from a nature, came from the dark. Every light comes from the dark. It can't be light everywhere and then darkness. That's not how it works. So let's talk about a very careful driver. I kind of already did this, but let's do it again since we got the disclaimers out the way. A very methodical, careful driver. This means wherever this person mentally travels in their minds and their mind frame and how they look at the world, like the way they do it is in a way where it's like they need to know the situation before and make it make sense to themselves where they can do it in their mind or maybe physically before they even go and say anything, before they even actually want to be seen, which is saying something. Anytime you say something, you're seen. Anytime you bring something to light, it's said, or it's an action is taken, or a sound is heard. You know what I'm saying? So that's bringing something to light. So yo ass, I can't believe only one person needed to live. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, so like I said, this person interprets, likes to be very careful, might even overthink, because we know slow drivers, they start being indecisive. They start being too nerve-wracked, where they just start slamming their brakes. So this person might do that in their mind frame. They might hold off on their own mindset just because of what's going on. When a person's driving, they start slamming the brakes, slowing down because they need to know what's going on. Now that's not a good or bad to nothing, all right? You can there's just sides to it. So the good thing about, or the good side or positive side or more open side about driving methodical and careful is that you most likely will see things coming before they happen, and you'll be in a better situation. Bad side, so that's one line, that's positive, most lightest side. But the bottom side, or the most darkest side, or the worst thing that can happen, or the other side is you be nerve-wracked, nervous, overthinking, fucking procrastinating your driving on little levels. You start like low-key thinking too much when you let other people pass over you because you're trying to be too methodical. It's all that. It's all that. You gotta tie all of this shit together, man. This is life. You make it make sense for yourself. You went through that shit. You went through it. Y'all all are gonna see what you made a mistake in from how you how you shot out that first awareness to gain some type of knowledge or gain some type of outlook at the world that's different because you got a broad perspective because you went through an experience. Y'all gonna see how you done been going wrong these like past 3,000 billion eon years. How you forgot you created your awareness where you accumulating your intuition, you're accumulating your subconscious. Now you're conscious though. So you can, the only way you go to your subconscious is bringing your conscious to your subconscious, since we're so used to being, but you're always conscious of your subconscious though. You just got to know that. You just got to know that this is how you are. It's not something that's being done to you or something where you're spooked out or you're thinking something's happening where it's somebody else's fault. Anyway, so yeah, I did the fast driver and the crazy driver basically, and then the slow driver. And we can even do the balanced driver, all right? Real quick. It's 10 minutes. So we got to make the hole. And this is 6-6. We got to make that hole come. And then it's just gonna keep on. Then it's this shit. That's how we manifest shit. Shit becomes solid from that 3 coming together. And just keep doing that routine. That's how we bring shit here. So, routine. So, the regular driver, or like the driver that's like in between, best way possible as it relates to them, because there's never a right, perfect in between, y'all. There's never a perfect in between. That's only subjective. So yeah, the objective though is to get where everybody can understand, which is a point where you don't think too much and you don't feel too much. You're centered. It don't go over. It don't go over that. It don't go over that. It don't go over that. So that's all subjective. But the most middle path is someone that whenever they need to do something as it relates to them, they fucking go drive fast as they need to, no matter what, how many cars the environment is saying, how fast somebody else is driving, you know. But they also know how to sit back and understand, interpret when the fuck to slow the fuck down or when the fuck it is time. So this is a person that know how to do both sides, you know. Now the bad thing about this, you know, because I told you it's two sides, everything. There's not a right or wrong. The bad thing about it could be the fact that this person don't ever want to consider a new way of trying to be weighed by the environment or trying to be changed by the environment. It wants to, this driver wants to just stay. This thinker wants to just stay how it thinks and nobody else can change it. So, you know, a manifest to driving, you just basically drive how you drive. Ain't nobody can tell you nothing type shit. You balance. Nobody can knock you off your center path. And then, or the balance beam. And then you got the bad side. I mean, the good side of that, which is, like how I explained it, you motherfuckers are able to balance when to do something, when not to. It don't go no further than that. So yeah, like I said, break it all down again. Your mindset, your mind frame, how you visualize like when you sit back and can vision things, but nobody else can see that shit though. That right there, how you think and shoot off those ways how you think, and then you start going on a line of thinking, a train of thought, basically how you think like that. That is tied to how you basically how you actually drive. So your subconscious is what you developed in order to have a certain mind frame and how you do it. And how you actually drive is how you do it in a sense where you're not quite aware and noticing your emotions and intuition, but you going with driving with your shit, like you going with driving with your shit. It don't go no further. I don't feel like talking no more. It don't go no.